Hello and welcome to The Angry Sniper, the person who just doesn't seem to be able to do a commentary once. He has to do it up to 10 times because he keeps on forgetting something. Which is really annoying because I just finished and I'm having to start again because I forgot just one teeny little important fact. Anyway, enough of that crap. I'm still free to play, not subbed. My cat is still looking at me odd, or he's vanished, never mind. And I still haven't done any PvP, but I do keep tabs on the Star Wars forums. And there's a particular thread, link in the description below, by the way, to that thread, but it's just happened to take my fancy. And that's why I'm spamming plasma probes like anything. Now, what you're seeing now is one of my first videos from my other channel. There's a second link in the description which will take you to that video on my other channel. I don't know why, but it's just, if you do, it's there. Not a problem if you don't want to click it. I haven't got the original footage of this video, so I'm having to record it based on a recording, so the quality might not be what it usually is. The picture might also be a bit dark because it was recorded on not my old computer, but my computer before that. So just a bit of housekeeping to say, you know, probably is one word, but never mind. So yes, the person in that thread on the Star Wars forums, people don't like the fact, apparently, shock horror, that there's no cooldown on Plasma Probe, and the fact that there is a 70% slow. Well, there's always been a slow on Plasma Probe. At least I think it has. I'm fairly sure there's always been a slow. Because you need a slow in order to try and keep people inside it in order to be able to deal their damage. So, bearing in mind, to get the 2-second stun, you know, interrogation probe, place plasma probe down, EMP discharge to get that, you've got to have the person inside the plasma probe. Now, I think they've increased the range, haven't they, from 5 meters to 8 meters, something like that. So maybe they could decrease the speed a bit, but you're always going to need a slow on plasma probe. So that's a given. So the fix in these people's eyes was to give it a cooldown. Excellent, says me. Go ahead, do so, please. Because what you're about to see, for me, is how I, in one respect, is all become clear, all this crap I'm saying. You used to have an 18-second cooldown on Plasma Probe, which meant not only did you have a cooldown, but its duration was also 18 seconds. So you could do precisely what I've done there, place it down, and go ahead and do something else. So in this particular situation, when you've got a void star like this, of course, you could do the same thing for Civil War, Navari Coast. You can also do this, although it's a bigger capping area. But you get the point. The 18-second cooldown means you can play a lot more objectively. And for me, that was perfect because I really enjoyed doing this kind of thing. I'm an objective player. I'm not a damage person. I will never do the highest bit of damage because that's not how I used to like playing the game. It's funny. I remember back in the day, there used to be some good 4-man teams, and this style of plasma probe and how I used it if you look to what I'm doing, and if you do it over a long course of time, which of course I did, it does help you to learn to kite. Because those PvPers who are a bit more savvy and can see what is going on, they know the only way they're going to cap that blasted door is if they happen to kill the blasted engineering sniper. And trust me, that happened a lot. But it also happened a lot, whereas they never could because I was able to kite. Warzone, you can do a fair bit of kiting. The reset was 1 minute. Of course, marksman and lethality, as it was back then, didn't have a reset on your defenses. I know all snipers do now, but that was unique to engineering at the time. So, engineering was the objective spec for snipers. I think it still is as well. So, personally, I think it did. We waffled on a bit, but never mind. It helped me learn to kite. It helped me use my defenses a lot more. It was a good way to learn how to play the sniper, in my opinion. So it's like, if that did happen, and they put a duration back on Plasma Probe, not to worry, because believe me, it'll be fun. They probably wouldn't put it back to 18 seconds, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. You can't take something. It wasn't just. It used to be 18 seconds duration. It's now 9 seconds, but it also does a lot less damage as well. And that's the thing. If you put a duration back on it, you'd have to buff it again in other areas, which would mean, of course, the damage. And I can't remember if I've said this. As I said, I've recorded this so many times, you tend to forget what you've said. But I doubt if they ever will anyway, because by putting a duration on it, you recreate the problems the PvEers had. And that was, they couldn't really use Plasma Probe to their advantage at all. Because if the bosses moved, bearing in mind, I don't PvE, I hate PvE, I don't do operations. If a boss moved, you wouldn't be able to move Plasma Probe again for that particular duration. It would also mess up the single target rotation we have now, especially with Plasma Probe if you wanted, EMP discharge, if you wanted to get that stun in. So, yeah, why is it after I close my account, I cancelled their subscription, that all these engineering related posts start getting made on the Star Wars forums and I can't bloody respond to them? It is extremely annoying. But you gotta love it. In one respect, the fact that you've got someone complaining about Plasma Probe. Hello, Puss. Don't know if you heard him, but that little chirp there was my little puss, Sparky. If people are complaining about the duration and the 70% slow, it means hopefully that there's more engineering snipers, more people playing that spec. If that's the case, woohoo! Excellent. It's a shame it's a good job in one respect that engineering wasn't that widely used back in the 2.0 era, which this Warzone is taking place, because objectives wise, if engineering was widespread, it'd be a nightmare for people. You'd never be able to cap anything. I know, but I've watched this video back, the original one, a couple of times, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad I've recorded a lot of videos and so forth, because I can see the progress I've made over the years in terms of how I played, my reactions, how quicker or slower I've became in terms of noticing things or my style of play. And yes, hello, Chris. I wonder if that will come out on the. Sorry, being distracted by my cat again. Should probably put a bit of sound on this. I've taken the sound off because the original one has music, and I don't want the music on this channel. That's why that's taken off. Which is a shame because this particular bit here, a new track on the original version starts, and it's a two steps of hell track. It's excuse me, a short track, but I just think the war zone, what I'm doing, and the track goes well. Always thought that, but you know, as if you create videos, if and so forth, it's you tend to have these moments. There's certain moments in a lot of videos where a bit of music, that specific music at that specific moment, you think just goes pretty well. There's a bit of an odd comment which comes up here. There you go. That notice this guy thing was actually meant for now. Because if you look in the top left hand corner, that's what I've slowed it down. That little green, they come out the door. Surely someone should have noticed. Aha! There's a person trying to cap on the other side. No, they all come this side. Which is, of course, good for us. But yes, essentially, keep sniping, have fun, and I'll see you again. I don't know how, I don't know when, but I shall probably do another couple of videos when I see something else which takes my fancy. So have fun.